Greetings and welcome to a Monday edition of the Shotgun Start. It is June 9th. Andy, how we doing?
Brendan, it is Victory Monday. One of the good guys in the world of golf, Ryan Fox, claims another W. He has been, snubbed from the P Cup team for years. He is saying, "You cannot ignore me" for Medina.
Goes and gets it. I mean, Medina's a long way away. Let's be real for a minute.
That's what my mind's on. My mind is Medina.
It's hard to ignore Mateo and his work for the imminent more imminent cup event coming in September. But Foxy, the international just got body bagged left and right in Canada. Maybe this was his statement, avenging the international loss last year in Canada. He goes up, takes their national open. Avenges the international loss.
Takes it.
Just grabbed him by the throat. Absolutely, just rumbled right through 60 minutes. The local news, the national news, damn near into the Tony Awards. If it were JB Holmes and not Swift Foxy, I mean, the guy was amazing. It was amazing.
They should have awarded him the playoff when he hit the approach shot, like before Burns was within 100 yards of his ball.
Some poor putting. I mean, Burns could have won it on the first one, should have won it on the first one with the 5-footer he missed on the low side. Foxy obviously leaving like a foot and a half short, and like right away comes out of it, throwing his putter up in the air. So some poor putting.
I mean, the Burns 3-putt. There's one thing you can't do there is 3-putt. I know you're trying to make the eagle.
Oh, yeah, sure.
After 3 holes of what we'd watched, you have to make the guy make the putt. That was horrendous.
At least try
I think Sam Burns shouldn't be on the Ryder Cup team because of that display.
He's number one in the tour in putting. He's had a pretty tough year elsewhere aside from putting, but the putting was a problem. It was a problem there on the 18th hole.
This is why we need stats like the like MLB has, where it's like 6th inning and on close game like stats, because that should go against his stats. What just happened? That he had to have lost like maybe 2.5 strokes on the greens in the playoff.
In the last 4 holes or whatever it was. I mean, Foxy was fortunate to get the one in regulation to drop in the side door there. And incredible. I mean, it was like, just what's going on. We're recording. You got a flight to catch. I have like a lot of packing to do before we get on the road. It just was never ending. We're at the point where like the New Zealand national soccer team, who nobody knows, like I've nothing against them. Nobody knows who any of these guys are. Amanda's interviewing them, doesn't probably know any of them, doesn't know any of their names. Like, how are you guys? So, are you good at soccer? What do you make of this? And like, they become prominent figures. Nance is just having to go like into the reservoir. He's talking about like where Fox got married and how Bieber also got married there or something.
That was Burns
or whatever. Burns. Like
Ryan
I couldn't
Fox
even keep track.
Did not get married where Justin Bieber got married.
Dune,
Come
what
on.
was it?
Like Ryan Fox couldn't be further apart.
Sure, I got it.
It was at Palmetto Bluff.
Palmetto Bluff. And it's just like, what are we? We're all over the place just trying to fill the time. It was fascinating. I love the little layup fest. It was great.
How about how they made such a big deal about them moving the flag? Like it's some grand innovation. But then it's like when it came to the tee, it's like, well, they can't do that because they haven't told the players. It's like, are you kidding me? We can't move the tee in a playoff?
You can do whatever you want. It's right? Everybody's they're playing
There's
at the
two players.
The
There's
same
two players
field.
playing for the tournament.
Yeah.
Move the tee to the forward team. Just change it.
Give a chip off.
I get the grandstands and the idea of like, okay, let's not uproot these thousands of people that are around the green. Let's make it crazy. Play from the front of the fairway for all intents and purposes. Yeah. I would have loved to see that.
Hey, so on that tee shot.
Thank God that ended. I was getting shades of the Travelers a couple of years ago, the Hickok, where we just started recording and they kept going. I mean, they went for like 3 holes after we started recording.
I mean, the problem was, and thank God Fox was quicker. This wasn't a JB Holmes situation going in the Grammys, where this, you would have gone into the Emmy or the Tonys tonight. I'm getting my awards mixed up, but you have a 3-shot hole, essentially. This wasn't like a par 3. It took a while. This death march to make a 5 every time. 5, 5, 5, 5 over and over again. And it took a while. While you're on the subject of tee box, I mean, we have to make this quick. We always say it's gonna be a quick one, and then we go for an hour.
It has to be quick. Out of here.
If it's not quick, we're in trouble. You're gonna get a lot of pods this week. We're gonna be, hammering you with podcasts this week.
PGA's Champions Tour Minute might not make it.
I was not assuming the Champions Tour Minute was going to be a lengthy segment today.
Let's do it right now. Darren Clark and Thomas Bjorn rumble and stumble, and they took out on the left side of the line, just inside guard, left tackle, just absolutely
good
dominated.
NFC North football in Wisconsin. Grit and grind. That's it.
Do you know why Thomas Bjorn was at such an advantage?
I think he was wearing his Echoes.
That's right.
Really? Oh,
he's their first. He's their first ever player ambassador. It started with Thomas Bjorn because it's a company from Denmark.
That's great. Well, now they have
such a global family of shoemakers now. From drawing the first sketches to presenting our finished shoes in Echo stores around the world, they apply the utmost attention to detail and quality. And obviously, to get around the tricky TPC Wisconsin, Thomas Bjorn had the utmost attention to detail and quality shots.
With footwear. Love that. Look at that segue here. I mean, Champs Tour Minute into Echo. And we're going to be at Echoes all week. We're at the Echo House.
Do you know when they signed Bjorn?
When? I'm going to say it wasn't Freddie Couples?
Freddie Couples was later.
Followed. Okay. Well, I'm going to say then late 90s.
2000. So it's the 25th year of partnering with Thomas Bjorn, and he gets this huge signature win with Darren Clark at TPC Wisconsin. At the AmFam, Steve Stricker, in Steve Stricker's backyard, went up there in his Echoes, rumbled around, and beat up on Steve Stricker.
PJ and I got up close with Bjorn at the senior PGA. He's a big boy. He needs his support. He needs some good soft cushioning and comfort down below. He's towing a lot of tonnage these days. He's a big boy. I could not believe.
He probably was been using the Pro Soma heel cup to his advantage in the shoes.
There you go. Has to. us.echo.com. Go peruse the Pro Soma, the golf shoes, the casual shoes. We're going to be rolling around all week at Oakmont in our Echoes. We'll be at the Echo House. Maybe do an Echo Chamber or two again. So we're pumped to be back at the U.S. Open with Echoes. They got waterproof technology. They've got Gore-Tex technology. They've got Primaloft insulation. They could do whatever you want. They got all sorts of comfort and bells and whistles. They've been in the shoe game forever, both in golf, out of golf. They've got EVRs in the field, so we'll be tracking him.
EVR wasn't going to miss the Echo House. They
have another ambassador by the name of Thorbjorn Olesen, who I think we're familiar with here. We like him. So love his game, Thorbjorn Olesen. He's an Echo ambassador as well. Yeah, playing well.
He's got to fly across. That's the only thing in his way right now.
Thorbjorn Olesen, as he's known on this podcast. He wears his Echoes. He'll be down at Oakmont. So we can't wait to get down there and be in the Echo House. All right, let's get back to the Canadian Open that we went to for Champions Tour Minute and ad read and all this other stuff. On the tee box, I got a text from a person in golf, outraged, incensed about the predictive tracker, the air tracker. Like, this is a fairway ball. Now, this is the latest innovation. I got a press release about it last week. So it starts off blue, then it apexes, and then it'll be red or green, looking like if it's going to be fairway, rough bunker. And so you pretty much know where it's going, what the result is, at least lie and resolution.
Do we want this? Is this additive or subtractive to watching golf?
This is the text I got. This is like someone I'm messaging here. This is not my take. That this is like saying, when Steph Curry releases it, whether or not it's going in or out.
This isn't good.
When Aaron Rodgers drops back to throw, if it's going to be completed or not. This innovation, this whatever it is, the drone tracer just won an Emmy, I believe. I think it should have gone to Smartin's little documentary on Scotty Scheffler, in my opinion. But, a separate category. They did get one for the drone tracer. It's an incredible technology. It's awesome. But for watching that 18th hole, as we talked about over and over and over again, do you think it is there's an element of spoliation with this predictive or drone technology?
Yes. You watch it to see that's like the joy of it's like you're watching the ball and you're like, oh, where's it going to end up?
It's interesting. It's incredible.
I don't need to know 5 seconds earlier. I could just watch the shot.
That's fair. I don't want to be like, this is incredible advancement technology. They've made the broadcast so much better. And I don't want to be like, you do this and then people still aren't happy and bitching about stuff. But there is an element of taking away some of the way you watch golf, I suppose. But I think it's pretty cool. It's up for debate. I'm not sure I have a take yet on it. Other than it's cool and I understand the opposing viewpoint. Okay. Foxy, though, he misses his fairway first, and then he hits the last few fairways. It's the 3-wood of his life. He said the greatest shot of his life on the last one to make, nice
make
little
a
cleanup.
Routine 4.
Yes, nice little cleanup 4 at this just pillow fight. What he called
number 32 in the world now, according to Nosferatu.
A good proper player, one of the last world players, as we always say.
Maybe that we could have a P Cup team with him and Cam Davis on it next. Finally.
Feels like a suitable arrangement for Medina next year. So, Burns, you're out though. You're out on him for Ryder Cup or anything like that. I mean, he's 157th in strokes gained approach. He's losing almost a half a shot. That'll go up after this week, I think. And he's number 1 in putting. It's just not been a great year for slamming Sammy Burns. But we've got 6-8 weeks.
The biggest issue for Sam Burns and his chances is the resurgence of Brooklyn's own Cam Young.
Bronx's own.
It's the Bronx.
Brooklyn. Bronx's own Cam Young.
The Bronx's own. Fordham Prep. He's right.
Fordham Prep, baby.
Him and
right on campus. Right on campus. Rose Hill Gym. Arthur Avenue.
What happened to Cam
PJ.
Young? Your guy
hit it too good.
Burned too bright. I didn't even get to submit my one and done pick because we forgot to do that. We were doing them late. I didn't want to ruin the end of the show. I took Sam Burns just to get out in front of that. Right. So I could have had
this is kind of like the Potkeeter playoff loss.
Yeah. No, I'm 0 for 2
Shades
on playoffs.
Of Potkeeter.
It's not good for playoffs. Yeah, Cam Young. Great putting week, like electric putting week. And his biggest weakness, he hits the ball too good on 18 flush the green.
Did you see his press conference?
Yeah,
he was pissed, honestly. It's
amazing.
The most, I kind of loved it, honestly. We needed some juice and we got it.
This moment, a lot of anger, frustration. I could have hit 2 better shots on the last hole. I don't hit 3 with that far and it's blowing straight into the wind. It decided to bounce. As in the ball got its own mind, it decided. It took on a life of its own. The ball decided on its own volition to bounce all the way to the backwoods. I thought in the air I was going to have about 12-footer to win the tournament. And it ended up somewhere where I was going to struggle to make par, let alone 4. Pretty upset. Played well. Kind of just want to go home. He hit 2 great shots. Hit a great drive. Hit a great 3-wood. And then his little wedge, his little slice duff wedge from a bad lie. It was just looked so impotent, like something I would do or a 10, 12, 15 handicap would do. But it was obviously a very challenging circumstance. But it looked hilariously bad.
After making the 4 on 17 from complete jail outside of the red stakes, I thought like, oh, we're just gonna pull another rabbit out of the head here from way deep in the woods behind this tree. But must have used all the magic on 17. But it's promising, but like legit really good putting week. So wasn't gonna win 2 weeks in a row. So Oakmont's back on.
Legitimately, I was going to say this: 80-1 at Oakmont. You could do
80
it's
to
kind
1.
of actually 80-1.
That's high.
Like I have him at 150.
Well,
really?
I got him at 80 right now. I think like you start to look at this list, like people ahead of him And it's like he has like a legitimate shot. He could legitimately win at Oakmont. And like you look ahead of him, like in the odds, I don't think Russell Henley has a legitimate shot to win at Oakmont. Now I could eat my words here, but Cam Smith's at 50-1. I don't know if Cam Smith's retired or a pro golfer right now. Minwoo Lee, Cam Young's like factored and had a chance to win major championships. So, I mean, Matt Fitz at 41-1. I like Cam Young way more than that. I think he's got like a legit shot.
Has a chance. Like if you saw him in the top 5 on Sunday, you wouldn't be shocked.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like
it's still like a long way to actually win it, but he's legit chance for sure.
He is like a legitimate player who could win at Oakmont, because like if he ended up winning, you'd be like, oh yeah, I mean, he's like one of the best players in the world from tee to green. So yeah, he could win.
Had to be an incredible roller coaster for. He makes the amazing birdie at 16, like bombs it, and then 17 he hits it off the planet, like the total Cam Smith. Like, all right, we're cooking. And then he hits this place that's like unknown, maybe a penalty, maybe unplayable, and makes the 4 somehow, and then 18 hits.
I'm just I'm happy Foxy won, because I can't stand when like players just ride up the leaderboard late or way out early. You know, like Sam Burns was done
2 hours.
2 hours before Foxy. It's just like, and he shot 62, and he probably thought he had no chance. And then sure enough, he's right there, because, you know, when you get a bunch of guys that don't win golf tournaments a lot, nobody plays well in the last couple of groups. Like the great one. The great. Are you going to apologize for the great one's performance?
No, I mean, the guy, it's this par 70, 7,500, 7,400 yard course. The guy is at like, he's hitting at 270. Yeah, the 14th hole was like, or 15th was like the microcosm of the whole thing. It's at 270 in the rough, a hole where everybody has like less than 100 yards in. Like some have 50 yards. He has 160 from the rough. The fact that he was in the final group, battling his little heart out, a proper sportsman. You know, Sam Burns was in diapers when this guy was winning on the European Tour. And he's still there, hitting a 270 in the rough, finishing top six. Yeah, he shot a 69. There's no shame in a 69 under par the way he's hitting it. Incredible performance for Matteo Manosero. And he'd be right at home. The Italian-American population of Long Island, he would put him in a blender. Luke Donald, that's a good strategy. Put him in a blender, make him choose. Great Italian food on Island, and bring Matteo into the fold. Put him out there.
Maybe just a team room play, just for the team room.
Just a team room play.
You know what he could be? He could be our utility player we're looking for. Bat not good enough to play a real position.
He was a treat. I was so excited to turn on Saturday, see him going low, maybe challenging the course record. All of a sudden, he's in the final group. Proper player, Matteo Manosero.
I'm not gonna lie. I watched so little of this tournament. We have like a festival in our town this weekend, and Saturday I kind of tied one on. And then when I popped open the leaderboard Saturday night and saw Manosero and Fox as the final group, I was like, "Oh my god, this is incredible!"
Yep.
I was not, the Osprey nor the Valley got me excited to watch. Though the footage, the amount of the coverage I watched on Sunday, I'm happy I really didn't dive into this golf course. It looks like about as bland as a white wall.
We were getting texts from people associated with the tournament that were very excited for PJ, Cam Young. They had RBC ambassadors, I guess, in Burns and Cam Young. They were very excited about that. I would say what you missed, my two favorite moments from the broadcast. On CBS, will be equal opportunity promoters here. CBS, IBF compared Ryan Fox to Sam Snead. His motion, loved that. It's almost like Sam Snead out of that. And then Steve Sands on the early coverage suggested that the rink hole, where they do the rink boards, is 14 this year, and they got the fellas there and the refs. He said they need to add a siren and a light and a horn like they would at a hockey game. And so when you make the 10-footer, they're popping the siren, I guess, as if they just put it in the back of the net. So that was an amusing little digression. I don't think it went. Cold Nose was like, "What are you talking? No way. What do you mean? There's other players on the course. You can't do that." That's what you missed from some of the coverage. So I don't have a lot else. Predictive tracer debate will rage on. I think that's a big takeaway. Happy for Foxy. Love to see him get a national open, and that's kind of where he belongs. So. What are you going to say?
Darren Clark, I mean, you talk about the teaming up, two brands teaming up. Darren Clark's a
Summit,
fairway and
right?
green guy, Summit Golf Brands.
That's right.
Teaming up with an Echo. I mean, that's the dream pairing right there.
We got you head to toe. We got you covered. No wonder they won, for God's sakes. Anything else on the Canadian Open that you barely watched?
Do we want to talk about Rory's short stint at the Osprey? Do you think that Osprey Valley offended his sensibilities so much they decided to just leave early?
No, I think the driver is offending his sensibilities. These new drivers, they can't get settled, and he's sort of said it as much. We're going early. We're going week before Contender Pretender. We're already going Contender Pretender.
Oh, you're going to say Pretender.
I've got some options here for you. I've got 3 or 4 names based on this past weekend. First one, Rory McIlroy, Contender or Pretender for Oakmont.
We've seen guys play terribly before they play really well. I'm going to say he's still a Contender, although he's on my probably like do not fly list, in terms of picking him.
I mean, he was near DFL. He got a bad break, I guess is what I'd put it. How about the PGA Tour account tonight tweeted brutal break for Sam Burns in the playoff when he spun it off the front of the green?
That wasn't a bad break.
What? It was
a terrible shot. It was a horrendous shot.
Brutal break for Sam Burns in the playoff. What looked like a green nearly ended in a water ball. What?
Sam Burns thing is like why he's a really good player is because of wedging and putting, and it was so bad in that playoff.
Yep. So it became a mess for Rory. He made an 8 on 4, like lost ball, can't find it. OB, he hit some bad shots. Obviously, he goes out in 40, and then it's like I'm just thinking about getting on the plane and getting the hell out of here. He was 8 over through like 10. Just a mess, just a total mess. That's fine. I don't really care that he misses a cut and is near DFL. Thanks to
are you giving him a Pretender tag?
The Hitman Hearn got no, of course not.
Well,
of course not.
I figured if you're going to put him there, I thought you were going to say something. Do it. Give him the Pretender. Give him a chance to shove it right down your face next week.
We're not in a place where we were with him before the Masters or the PGA. We're not in the same place. We're not putting him in the top. There's a top 2 as we did for those 2 majors. I think he says, to his own, by his own admission, I feel like I came here obviously with the new driver thinking that sort of was going to be good and solve some of the problems off the tee, but it didn't. Obviously going to Oakmont next week, what you need to do more than anything else is hit fairways. Obviously for me, when I get that part of the game clicking, then everything falls into place for me. Right now, it isn't. It's a concern going into next week. So I'm back to a 44-inch driver trying to get something that was a little more control and try to get something a little bit more in play. So a shorter driver, 44 inches. I was saying to Harry going on this is the second time this year I've tried the new version. I think this is the new TaylorMade QI, whatever. And it hasn't quite worked out for me. So I'd say I'll be testing quite a few drivers over the weekend.
You know what he should do? He should have Harry scrounging around at used sporting goods stores early in the week. Have Harry get whatever the last TaylorMade driver, get like QI 10 different heads of it, and find the one that works for you. Enough going to the tour. What he wants, he wants a worn in that's not hot. Like not worn in. Yeah. He wants something that's had a little life that's what he needs. He needs something that's like, it's like when you get a new couch and the cushions suck. You got to sit on it for like a couple of months until it breaks in.
I mean, couldn't TaylorMade just do that for him tomorrow? Get some robot to hit 1,000 balls with whatever driver he likes to.
I don't understand how they can't get this thing figured out.
I like some of it has to be the artist a little bit. Like he's not making as good as swings, but obviously a lot of it he's not comfortable. It's not comfortable. I'm not alarmed, but he's just not in the same space as he was going for me.
He might be honestly better off hitting 3-wood. The one thing is, I don't think Oakmont's like a super driver heavy course. Actually,
where do you? Well, we'll talk about this week. I mean, 12. You want to hit one there? I don't know. 9. You probably want to hit a driver.
I mean, I think he could get around it with like 3-wood pretty well.
Yeah.
You know,
we'll talk about it this week. Yeah, it's interesting. I would not put him in the pretender category on Monday or Sunday.
Why don't you? You brought it up. You wanted somebody to put it there, and now
he's our washed king.
Don't you agree, PJ? If he brought this up, he should have to do it. If I didn't do it,
all right, pretender. He's a pretender for Oakmont. He's not going to hit any fairways. He's going to lose 10 shots off the tee.
But he's trying to be provocative at the very least.
Pretender. Phil Mickelson. Oh, one last thing on the equipment. I watched a little bit of LIV Virginia this week. Keimer, the bucket boy, the new bucket boy. He has some new brand, whatever, scripter. And he wears a bucket hat. And they were talking to him. It's like, he's playing well. He's not won since the 2014 U.S. Open. He's kind of in contention on Saturday night. And while we're on subject to driver and equipment, he's like, it was good to go to the PGA and actually like see the guys and like test stuff and like get the driver fixed out and like in a way that like he's more comfortable with and try some stuff out. And like, are these guys just not? I'm sure some of them, many of them, the Rahms, the Brysons who brought out the new irons this week, are getting all the equipment they want. But it was interesting to hear Keimer say, like, it was good to be at a PGA where I could have access to like the old guys, the full equipment truck.
So you have the best guys too.
Yeah. You got to wonder for the guys who are older or not these banner players that are being promoted, are they not getting? I'm sure LIV with all their resources has some stuff dialed in, but that was just Keimer's own quote. I have nothing else on the Canadian Open. Contender pretender Phil Mickelson. He's in it.
He's a pretender. Don't be serious. He almost won though this week, huh?
He did. That's what I'm saying. He's holing out, hitting backward shots. You had the lead late. Finished, I think, solo or T3, I want to say, is where it ended up. Or T4 with Bryson. Played well. Pretender, though. Probably at Oakmont.
What do you have?
A pretender. That's just, I mean, there's like a 42 just waiting to happen, no matter what goes right.
I mean, it would be, if you said, where are like the 5 most fun things that could happen, would be Phil contending.
Oh, be wild. Just be wild. He's not done. That's what I'm saying. It was a treat to see him playing well. He was in solo possession of the lead for a while.
It'd be so fun if Phil like had a Kiowa performance and you saw him go up against Scotty in the final round and like saw like the shit that he would pull on Scotty, trying to like rattle him,
just mess with him. That would be. I wonder how Scotty would take to that. DJ 66 today, contender pretender to defend at Oakmont.
Contender, right? That's what all the LIV people insist that we have to say, right?
I think so.
What would you say?
He's a pretender. I just don't. Come on, he hasn't. Not real sharp. 66 today, 9 under, finishes top 10, along with Jon Rahm. That was the game within the game. He was borderline for the last hour at LIV Virginia, just walking the tightrope. That top 10 streak was ready to burst, but he sneaks it in, gets a T8, keeps it alive. It was teetering there.
It's at the point where he feels pressure about
so?
keeping it going. You know, this is what and it's like, you know, when you're worried about something, then you inevitably end up on the top 10 line.
Yeah,
because he's so worried about the top 10 streak. So he's gonna say, guys, I've finished in the top 10 every week.
Good. RTJ was good to the old boys. I mean, not just Phil. It was like Bubba, Graham McDowell, Keimer, It just felt like we were. I don't know. Maybe it's just they're the only ones that played it and passed like Quicken Loans and P Cups, but all the old guys did pretty well, or a lot of them did well at RTJ this weekend.
All right, last final thoughts. We're getting out of here. I gotta get on a flight.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Bryson debuts new irons, played well.
We have 2 topics left. We could choose 2 topics. I'm not allowing this to go to an hour.
We're at 30 minutes. We're not like on the edge of an hour. Connor Syme wins the DP World Tour. Jennifer Kupcho wins the LPGA. Austin Smotherman wins the KFT at BMW Pro-Am. Charity Pro-Am. Champs Tour we've already covered.
Should we mention that Joaquin Niemann won RTJ?
Yeah, we should. Joaquin Niemann wins.
People will get very
Round
mad.
tops 10s. And was it the Crushers won the team?
I don't
event?
actually know the answer to that.
Yes, Crushers did. It was... Look, I got like 1,000-word summary from someone who's like dyed-in-the-wool golfer, loves golf, in golf space, has no allegiance to anything. He said it was awesome. He said LIV Virginia was awesome. He's not somebody paid to promote it or give a shit. Probably comes from a more traditionalist and critical. Said it was packed. There were a lot of kids, younger audience. He's like, you can tell it's not like as hardcore a competition as a PGA Tour event, but it's an awesome, awesome atmosphere. The shotgun's awesome. Everybody's on the course. It's easier on like maintenance. Like this person, I was like, I read through like the 1,000-word debrief on going for 2 or 3 days. And like, he's like, young people are loving it. And it was like really interesting. And this is not someone paid to promote it. And like, it seems like the players and caddies on it more or less love it. But, you know, he said it doesn't feel like his competition, you know, that's clearly as hardcore. So that's my live minute, I guess, from LIV Virginia, which I did not make it over there. It's hard.
Maybe they should play in Virginia and in Australia only.
And that's it. The corporate stuff was jammed. I guess it was really nice. Like puts the PGA Tour stuff to shame. Like the corporate hospitality. Yeah, they said it was like really cool, really like top flight. Now they probably have less of it. I'll just preface it. They only have to. They can make like one baller corporate area. But yeah, a lot of good reports from people who went over to Virginia. News. Kevin Yu, Matt McCarty, and Cam Young get exemptions into Portrush via the Open Qualifying Series. Just feels a little less stinky than the Ricky sponsor exemption getting his last week at Memorial. I think that does it. That's all I got for news. What are your last subjects you wanted to bring up? Andy, you said we have 2 things. We got to choose.
What are you most excited about for a week hanging with the boys?
It's a good question. Let's see what... I'm curious if they can, like, with the blue coats, the USGA, how they mix and match. Can they get in there, do some investigative journalism out there on the grounds, poke around on Oakmont? Maybe I'm interested in that. See if the boys can mix it up with the blue coats, our friends at the USGA.
I'm excited to watch some sports with the boys.
We're going to the Pirates game, right? The Buccos?
Got the Pirates. Did they get a rain out so Skeens got moved back or no?
No, he shoved. He was unbelievable today. Swept the Phillies. Pirates are hot.
Wow.
Pirates Marlins. That's a hot ticket. Hot.
Pirates Marlins.
It's incredible buying tickets for the Pirates. It reminds me of my days when I lived close to the cell. It's like I could go watch Chris Sale pitch for $10. It was incredible. You could just...
Regrettably, Oakmont and the area have taken on a ton of water. It's Soakedmont again.
Soakedmont.
I got a text from somebody there on Friday saying like we are literally flooding, not the golf course, but the area flooding. It continued over the weekend, continued on Sunday. Looks like a little bit more rain on Monday. And then it gets a little cleaner for the rest of the week, hopefully. But I feel like if we get a dry Tuesday, Wednesday,
I think it'll be. We just want it.
Yeah.
We'll hope that rain misses on the weekend. If it's just dry all week, it'll get better. All right. I will say it rained a ton before I played, and the greens were still pretty firm. But I think where you lose it a little bit is the fairways. Now the rough could be like very big problem.
Big problem as in?
Like very difficult to deal with.
bad to go into.
Like
Because it's
extremely,
soaked.
extremely bad to go into. Like the rough might be just like absolutely insane.
Speaking of the rough, I will just add that we have the first confirmed rough content of the week from Ben Griffin, TikTok superstar. I just saw it. Cameron and I were digesting it before we started recording here. So,
was he out there today?
Yeah,
Was it
seemingly.
was it soggy? Okay.
Has his TikTok following gone up much?
Yeah, he's up to like 107. He's hit the 100K bar and is still rising. So
that's good. That's good
All
for
right.
him.
That does it. I think we'll be back Tuesday. We're gonna be at Local Remedy. We have our own ale. We're pumped about this. We're gonna be there all week. We're coming into Pittsburgh for the U.S. Open. We're jazzed. I mean, this is gonna be an awesome. This is like the pinnacle for the U.S. Open. There's so many great venues. This is among the 1, 2, or 3 top ones. It should be dialed in. We're so excited. We're gonna be down the hill at Local Remedy talking
the US
there.
Open's so good.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, we're pumped. It's hard to go away for a week, obviously, but it's a great charmed life that we are genuinely like enthusiastic and love to cover this kind of stuff. And this one's going to be about as good as it gets. So
hey, I think we're going to be on TV tomorrow too. People should tune in.
We are. We're going to be on
together. We're never on together.
We're not. I thought it's going to be good. I'm going to be able to pop you. Jam you live on TV if I can. We're gonna be on Golf Channel around 2, I believe, on the Gary Williams 5 Club show.
I saw Gary at the airport in his
G-Dub?
suit. He's ready. He's dialed
Did you
in.
talk to him?
G-Dub.
No, he
coming.
just grabbed his bag from baggage claim and
Okay.
ran out.
He probably didn't know who you were. He didn't know he was
better.
He
knows who PJ is. He knows who PJ.
G-Dub's
He's just the straw that stirs the drink.
G-Dub's fresh off a big member guest this weekend.
That's what I heard. So yeah, we're gonna be doing that on Monday afternoon. And then Local Remedy. Come on in. It's gonna be fun. We got a beer, we got merch, we have all sorts of swag. Will loaded me up with all these little fried egg matchbooks and divot repair, ball mark repair tools and all this stuff, tees, everything. So I'm hauling that up to Pittsburgh. We're gonna be at Local Remedy all week. We'll talk to you then. Talk to you on Tuesday with a big bad US Open preview.